Who wants to get into some comments and see me reply to them? Too bad. All five of you out there who, anyway, I'm going to go through some comments and we'll reply. And yeah, I'm making a video however I can while I'm sick. Patty White, take some vitamins, drink hot tea, do some deep breathing exercises, rest. Enjoyed your talk. Thank you very much, Patty White. I have been drinking a lot of hot tea. I've got plenty of tea around here. All right, Cammy Toes. Sorry you aren't well. Best wishes for speedy recover. Completely agree with about the big pharma and the corruption of the politicians. Yeah, I'm not happy Trump got in because we all know from the last term as prez that he's only there for the billionaires. That's yeah, a person could make an argument for that. Uh, but for me, neither party are worth voting for. I 100% agree with you there. As for Elon Musk, who voted him in, why is he getting a say in running the country? I'm going to stop there because I'm getting steamed again. Hey, man, that happens to me all the time. Elon Musk, uh, he's there because Donald Trump did win the election. Elon Musk helped Donald Trump win the election, and Donald Trump asked him to help. What they've done is Trump has teamed up Elon Musk with Vivek Ramaswamy and created like a blue ribbon panel. They're calling it Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, which is like some crypto. I don't know how any of that works. So Elon Musk is not being given a cabinet position or anything like that. He's being asked to come in and do some efficient stuff. Now, I get your head. Somebody from the private sector just being given power, even though they weren't elected. Well, I hate to break it to you, but go look at the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Go look who has been running that the past century. Um, yeah, it's a revolving door of big pharma. It's a revolving door of big pharma. So I agree with the initial sentiment to be wary of the private sector coming in, because you can get conflicts of interest like that. There's might be some conflicts of interest with Elon Musk too. They promised to be transparent about it. Here's my pitch for Elon Musk. He created a car company faster, cheaper, and better on electric cars than out of the blue. Um, Better, faster than like Ford, GM, VW, whoever, you know. So he knows his efficiency there. Um, what else? He bought Twitter, fired 75% of their staff, and it didn't skip a beat. So that's pretty good track record of efficiency there. And then SpaceX, his space rocket delivery system. Um, NASA couldn't even get people back and forth to the space station, so we had to hire Russia to get our people back and forth to the space station. So Elon Musk comes in, he does it bigger, better, cheaper, more efficient, more reusable, and he just blew NASA out of the water. So that's a pretty good track record for government, for somebody you want to help with government efficiency. I mean, that's just that Elon Musk proved how wasteful NASA has been since they went to the moon, probably. So that's my pitch on Elon Musk. I'm not worried about him all that much. In fact, he's a great guy to come in and just take a blowtorch to some of these bug budget items, and we need to cut spending. We need to cut spending. We need to cut spending. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We need to cut spending. So he knows how to cut spending or keep spending down, and he even made SpaceX profitable through the Starlink satellite stuff. So yeah, I think Elon Musk is a pretty good dude. All right, got super sick. Thank you very much, Liz Nichols Art. Third Eye Labs. If you're worried about inflation, then you should have invested in Bitcoin, gold, and silver a long time ago. Yeah, if you're spending money on anything other than assets, then you are buying literal trash. Third Eye Labs, you are absolutely right. The thing about investing is you have to have the disposable income to do it. And I have not had the disposable income. But when 7 years ago, I had a mobile home in Illinois, came down here, bought a property, had to go back to Illinois to sell it. Sold it for $4,000. But when I listed it for $4,000 or one Bitcoin. Because, yeah. And so Bitcoin 7 years ago was about $4,000 each. I haven't looked because it was $88,000 like yesterday, something like that. So if I had sold that mobile home for 4,000 for one Bitcoin, and I had hodled that Bitcoin until now, I would have turned that into $88,000. So yeah, gold, silver, another thing that it's Bitcoin's going to be volatile because it's kind of weird that way. Gold and silver is, you're not going to get as big of a jump as you are in Bitcoin, but yeah, you are absolutely right. All right, I hope you're feeling better soon. Thank you. Sherry Hartwig, thank you very much. SC Cliff. Yeah, if you don't, yeah, see, there's all kinds of mandates from the government on what drugs you got to take and what treatments you got to take and all that stuff. Oh, and here's somebody I lost. So your answer is electing someone that doesn't give a damn about you or your health. She didn't watch the video. I didn't want either of them elected. I didn't want either of them elected. See, that's the thing. So, yeah. And nobody in the federal government cares about my health, obviously. They don't care about your health either. They're subsidizing the crap in our foods. So, yeah, that's not a good argument. All right. Thank you, Durdam. TSV167. Hope you're on the mend. As for Trump, he believed in peace through strength as well as fiscal responsibility. He did not believe in fiscal responsibility. He did not in the least believe in fiscal responsibility. He added $8 trillion to our national debt. That's not fiscally responsible. He had to rebuild the military? No, he didn't. Military spending was pretty much level throughout his 4 years. They got a little extra money because of the COVID stuff, but no, he did not do anything to rebuild the military. And he's spending, and it takes time to, like, you can't just say, hey, I want to upgrade our fighter jets, and it happens during his presidency. No, that stuff. He knew the measures he was taking to improve the economy would eventually overtake and repay the added debt caused by upgrading the military. See, he didn't spend more on the military, and he had no plan and to improve the economy. And in fact, in his last year, CARES Act, $2.2 trillion. Month and a half later, another COVID relief package was, I think, 700 billion. So you're talking that's about $3 trillion. And then the month as he was leaving office, another $1 trillion in COVID relief. That was another of the stimulus checks. So $4 trillion in the last 10 months of his presidency, and there was absolutely no plan that would be made up. The economy was improving. No, it wasn't. we were we were on lockdowns. California was still on a complete lockdown. Um, yeah, you can't gaslight me. You just can't gaslight me on Trump. I'm sorry. If you're living in a nice little Trump bubble where you believe everything they say and everything he says, ugh, there are better places to be than in that bubble. There will be a lot of adjustments in the next 4 years. There better be. If there aren't a lot of adjustments, I'm going to be mad. 4 years is not enough time to accomplish every change needed. You got that right. We've got a lot of the swamp still in Congress. Yep. Well, and it's not just the president; it's the Congress. But yeah, I'm sorry. I do not buy your President Trump hype on being fiscal responsible during his first term. We'll see on the second. Crazy Cluckers Farm. Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, yeah, if you lose subscribers for not liking or voter, yeah, yep, that's good. And I'm not a hater. Typically, depends on how you treat me. I got some doozies of comments in here, I'm sure. But Democrat. I understand why Democrats don't like Republicans. I understand why Republicans don't like Democrats. So I can relate with people in both parties a little bit. Um, I'm not uh, you know, believe my thing or hit the road kind of guy. I wish everybody would follow the Constitution, but yeah, I'm not going to hate you because you voted for him or you voted for her. If you're throwing around insults and just being ignorant, then yeah, you'll get it back from me. I'll match your energy. Kimber 5, thank you. Thank you. Trump is the best. He's not the best. Democrats are bad. They are bad. Is Trump better than the Democrats? I think he was in this one. Ace Nope, thank you very much. Vicky Paynanan 215. Have you talked to a disability lawyer? Some are pretty good at getting around the government. All right, this is my 20th year with Parkinson's disease. Yes, I have talked to a lawyer. I wasn't diagnosed yesterday. I was diagnosed 20 years ago. I have done my research. I have talked to the lawyers. I have filed my um, claims and been rejected and filed again and been rejected and uh, and that's how you learn about the corrupt process that disability is. Lawyers are not good at getting around the government. That's not how it works. You sue the government. That's how it works. When we had yellow pages, there'd be a big old thick section of disability lawyers. That is big business for the lawyer lobby. And those lawyer lobbies, they get big old campaign checks to both parties to keep our disability system inefficient and corrupt so that they can keep getting a cut every time they have to sue the government for some poor sap like me can get his disability. So, yeah, I'm not 6 years old. I'm not an idiot. I have actually had the thought that, oh, boom, how do I get disability? It's been 20 years. I'm taking it out on you, but I've been lectured for 20 years from people who have no clue, lecturing me on what I need to do to get disability. I know more about how disability works for Parkinson's than anybody in the government, anybody you have ever voted for in your entire life, anybody who's ever told me what I need to be doing. I know more than them, and I prove it, all the time. So, look, I do not need to be questioned and lectured about disability over and over and over again, but it's never going to stop. I feel like the government needs to be paying me to educate folks about the corrupt disability system. Look, it's a mandate you get treatment for a year. It's a mandate. There's no getting around that. Government lawyers aren't going to get around that. I could lie. I could cheat. I could get doctors to falsify stuff. I'm not going there. When you go into a lawyer's office, before you even go in, you call them to make an appointment. They're going to tell you bring your medical records for you. So you didn't even, Vicky, you didn't even mention medical records. So that tells me right off the bat that you're just giving unsolicited advice, which is 99% of the time it's wrong advice. So yes, I've contacted disability lawyers, and they will. Let me turn this on you. Have you talked to your U.S. House rep and your two U.S. senators about the corruption of our disability system? Have you done that? Go do that. You're asking me if I've done that. I'm asking you if you've done this. Have you talked to them about the corruption of our disability system? Have you asked your U.S. House person and two U.S. senators, why are there so many disability lawyers? What is that racket? Go ask them why that is. Why do you have to sue the federal government to get a benefit that you're paying for? Go ask them that. Okay? Leave me alone on disability. I am well versed. I know what I'm talking about. And what needs to happen is we need political courage to take on the corrupt disability system. There are Parkinson's. It's just yeah, you got to have a year of medical treatments. They require these drugs for those medical treatments. It's $30,000. Where am I going to get 30? Are you, Vicky? You going to give me $30,000? You're going to give me $30,000 because when I go to the disability lawyer, he's going to ask me, "Do you got the medical records that you've spent $30,000?" Now, why do the drug companies? Um, I started that off where. All right. So why do they require these drugs before you can get the disability? Well, go look at the camp. Go look at your U.S. House rep and your two U.S. senators. Go see who's giving them money, and if it's any of the big pharmaceutical companies, that's why disability is corrupt, because your U.S. House rep and both of your U.S. senators are taking money from Big Pharma, and then Big Pharma gets to go to the Social Security Administration, and they get to tell them, oh, well, if he's got this condition, needs to take this medicine. If he's got this condition, he needs that medicine, and yeah. So 1 million people in the U.S. with Parkinson's, $800 a month in drug costs, $800 million a month. So that's $9.6 billion per year for one drug for one disease and it's mostly profit to the pharmaceutical companies. Yep. And we do not have the free speech in this country to talk about that. And this video might even be demonetized because I'm telling you the truth about the Republicans mostly who take the big pharmaceutical company campaign donations, but the Democrats are just as guilty. But yes, that's how it works. uh, your U.S. House rep and two U.S. senators think the big pharmaceutical companies are more important than individuals like me suffering from a lifelong debilitating brain disease. All right. Hello. You'll be proven wrong on Trump. I hope so. I hope so. Um, Deborah walked into the polling place, not sure who I was voting for. I didn't want Trump, but I didn't want Harris either. Yeah, hang on for the next 4 years. That's what we got to do. G Shooty, good to see ya. Thanks for being human. I'm a Trumper and believe in free speech, not war. Would never unsubscribe. I appreciate that. The cancel culture does that. I'm a boomer. Bottom line, the MAGA movement was never about Trump. It's us and Musk, Kennedy, Ramaswamy, J.D. Vance, a lot of establishment senators that need to be swept. See, Musk and Kennedy and Ramaswamy and Vance were not in on Trump's first term. You can go back and find Trump quotes from, you can find quotes about Trump from J.D. Vance from the 2016. And yeah, J.D. Vance was not a fan of MAGA during the initial start of the first term. People came around to him for many, many different reasons. But yeah, I wish Trump had the people that he has now. You know, back then, his first term might have been different. I'd had a different feeling about it. But anyway, mudslinging political ads encourage complacency, and a big part of the problem. That's what they're doing. Most of your political ads is to keep people home. That's what they're doing there. They're trying to discourage people from voting and trying to get them to stay home. I don't think it's working anymore. I think the American public is we're changing. We're already rejecting the two parties and moving into the independent camp, and you know, this is interesting. All right, I need some ivermectin. Oh wait, we can't say that. No kidding. No kidding. And that's one of the bad knocks on the Democrats is they, you know, not only did they keep that. I don't know. Don't ask me if it's helpful or not. Some people say it is helpful. Some people say it isn't helpful. The FDA says it's not harmful to humans. It's been billions and billions and billions of humans have taken it. Well, you know, I'm exaggerating. But yeah, a lot of human beings have taken ivermectin because it's a treatment for something else. Yeah, I am not the expert on that. Go ask Joe Rogan. He'll know more about that. But they tried to cancel Joe Rogan for talking about ivermectin. You know, they were going to all these social media companies and trying to get people canceled um, and taking away their free speech over horse paste ivermectin. That's just, you shot yourselves in the foot there, Democrats. All right, Denise, where do half the medications come from? Not our country, yeah. Um, didn't vote, but also we're different in every way. And then she says, I'm sad. I think you're taking it a little too far. Man, I don't know. I didn't even call anybody any names. What is too far? Because I love our Constitution and want to abide by it? That's all right. That's all right. Glad I got to see this before YouTube take it down. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Thank you, Kim. Joy, good thing about Trump and Liz Cheney, Chris Christie, etc., was it brought them to light and exposed them. Yep, yep, that is a silver lining on that. Mark Worley, thank you very much. All right, here we go. Denise Wilson. Yeah, she wants to talk about Social Security. So that I'm gonna lose subscribers right now. But let's get into it. I've already read Trump team's proposal for saving Social Security. I can tell you right off the bat that's not true. Trump's team did not have any proposals for saving Social Security, and that is one of the reasons why I couldn't vote for him. That they are going to be put in place because they now have the majority and they want to up the age of retirement. There's nothing, nowhere that Trump and his team have proposed So I don't know where you got this. Yes, I do. Democrats they're liars and they're fear mongers, and they have been blocking the much needed reform to Social Security for ages, and it's just constant fear mongering from the Democrats. They're treating Social Security like it's the next coming of Jesus Christ because they believe government is God. And so all of this stuff, all of this stuff did not come from Trump. I 100% know that this is what you're putting out here is false. It did not come from Trump. Trump's proposal was to not touch it. The only thing he proposed was to stop taxing Social Security income. It's the only proposal the Trump team proposed. So whatever you're putting in there, I appreciate your comment, Denise. I really do. It lets me highlight how just deplorable, to use their own word, the Democrats have become on trying to demonize and smear their opponents with just outright lies. Outright lies. Okay, they want to up the age of full retirement. Now, maybe somebody, other Republican did, maybe this person did. It wasn't Trump. It was not Trump. Believe me, I am all ears when it comes to reforming Social Security. But yeah, they did not. They want to get rid of this and that, the other, and don't pay. All right, and then yeah, and then we get down here. They won't pay. Yeah, the rich people. You only pay taxes on the first 168, and yeah, a lot of people want people to pay rich people to pay the. Here's the thing: those aren't taxes. So when let me pull it up. FICA stands for Federal Insurance Contributions Act. Insurance Contributions Act. So, Social Security is not a retirement program. Um, we've been lied to, and I don't know how many people I've come. Most people out there think I pay my money in every paycheck, government sets it aside, and then when I retire, the government gives my money back to me. No, 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 no. That's a lie. That is a propaganda piece of junk lie. That is not how it works. You pay the money in, it goes out almost immediately. So when it was implemented in 1930-ish by FDR, it should have been Social Security is unconstitutional. There's nothing in the US Constitution which gives the federal government the power to do something like Social Security. Nothing in there. And FDR knew this, and so FDR threatened to pack the Supreme Court with judges who would agree with him. And so they found a workaround for a lot of his programs. And this was the workaround that they got for Social Security. It's an insurance program. Those are insurance payments. You're paying insurance payments each month, and then when you retire, you're getting insurance benefits. So because it's set up as an insurance program, that's why you can't tax the rich people more, because if they pay a higher premium into the system, well then equal protection under the law. That's what the Constitution says. 14th Amendment. We that's part of the Civil War we fought, was equal protection under the law. So if they're paying more in premiums, you have to give them more in benefits. And so you would have to amend the Constitution, get rid of equal protection under the law if you want to tax rich people more. Don't be mad at the messenger. Go back in time and take it up with FDR and his little gang of socialists that were trying to put all these programs into place, which never should have passed constitutional muster. So they cannot constitutionally tax the rich people. Also, and oh, you always hear them complaining about the rich people not paying their fair share. You never hear them saying, well, if they pay their fair share, then they get a fair return on their insurance premium. But what about all the rich people who are getting checks? What about all the rich people who are getting checks? Have you ever heard anybody complain about that? I mean, I do it all the time. But yeah. So that cuts both ways. That cuts both ways. You can't take the cap off unless you amend the Constitution, Denise. And that is the American way. So I am, I love following the Constitution. I love that equal protection under the law. It does not apply as much as it should, but in this case, it will apply. Here's what I want: Social Security eliminated. I just want it gone. It's an insurance Ponzi scheme workaround to get it made. Uh, it's survived for, there were 16 workers for every one person receiving benefits when it was instituted. The tax rate was 1% for the individual and 1% for the employer when it was implemented. Now it's 15.3%. 16 employees for every Social Security beneficiary when it was started. Now it's 2.2 workers for everybody drawing some type of Social Security check. Every month we have a new record of people on disability. So you can't sustain that. In fact, it's probably going to run out of money in 2032. Let me see if I can find this from the Social Security office. Security automatic reforms. Proposals to change Social Security. Here we go. All right, this is from Social Security. Oh, and I'm kind of over. Can I scroll down a little bit? No. Can I move myself? Anyway, it's that first. I'm gonna pop myself off here for a second. All right. Let's take this is from Social Security itself. 12. The second sentence. Trust fund reserves would become depleted between 2033 and 2035. It's going to be sooner than that. Because we're reaching records of people on disability. If no legislative change is enacted, scheduled tax revenues will be sufficient to pay only about 3/4 of the scheduled benefits after. So that's automatic. Automatic. Once that, let me get pop back in here. Once that trust fund is depleted, they automatically will cut benefits by at least 25%. It depends on how much coming in. They can, once there is no more trust fund, they can only pay out what is coming in. And and right now about 25% of everything is going out. Is they started building up a trust fund, but now we're depleting that trust fund faster and faster because of all this nonsense in the disability world. And so 2032 automatically, if they do nothing, it's not Trump's proposal, it's not Biden's proposal. These are the rules as they are. Everybody's going to get a Social Security cut of at least 25% in 2032. They're saying 2033 to 2035, close enough. Trump did not, and I'm mad at him about that. I want to get rid of Social Security. I think it's a bad program. Like I said, the rich people aren't paying their fair share. Rich people are getting the benefits. They don't even need it. And we're handing out money. It's a bad way A very bad way to take care of elderly people who need financial help. Social Security is not Jesus Christ. It is not infallible. It is not the only way to help them, and it's not the best way to help them. If you have to rob from poor people like me to help, uh, some poor old people, but also help some rich old people, that's just, it's insane. It's insane. This country has done a horrible job of lying to us about Social Security since the day it was put in place. Did you know when the first uh, when it was set up, it exempted farm workers and household workers. So 80% of the black population in the United States of America was not eligible for Social Security when it was first implemented. That's a curious fact. It's also a curious fact that FDR put a member of the KKK on the U.S. Supreme Court. That's another interesting fact about FDR. Democrats aren't, they're not pulling down any statues of him anywhere, but that's the truth about FDR. So yeah, I am not a fan of Social Security. I want to get rid of it, but yeah, I would be. People rely on it, and we can't bail on them. We can't leave them empty-handed. We need a transition program. We need to take care of those people, but we need to phase it out for the young people who are never going to see a dime. It's not fair that they're paying 15.3% of their income and they're never going to see a dime of it. This country was growing rapidly, and it was a good program until we've kind of reached the population, so we're not growing that much, and the number of employees per recipient is now down to 2.2 per, and you can't have two people working to pay for this person's retirement. That's not going to work. How crazy is that to think that's going to keep working? So I don't want to leave any of the current people in the lurch, but we got to think about the future. We got to think about our kids. And that another thing about Social Security is we used to hire each other. Domestic workers, household workers. You know, we middle class people would a lot of times have an employee that they hired to help out with their family. Full time household workers, it was a lot more common. Now we've got the government in every job, and that was the biggest downside of this Social Security, because now the government's got their hand in every employment situation, and so we stopped hiring each other. Technically, if I'm hiring Michael to come down here, um, he's got to pay 15.3% of what I pay him to Social Security. And if I hire him from so many hours per year, well then I've got to withhold that from his pay, and then he's got to pay his half and I have to pay his half. How big of a nightmare is that for just a family that wants one, full-time employee that is a nanny and a cook and a cleaner and a gardener and blah blah blah. We need to be able to hire each other again without the government in the way. So I'm sorry, all of you Social Security lovers. I understand the need, um, and the want to help old people and keep them from having to eat cat food. And I don't want to be one of those people myself either. But Social Security is not the only way to do that, and it's not the best way to do that. And the sooner we realize what a scam Social Security is, the faster that we can come up with something better that helps the people that need it. Not everybody who's old needs help. That's where most of the wealth is, in the people over the Social Security age. The vast majority of the wealth in this country is owned by people over the Social Security age. Yet we're taking from the 18-year-old trying to get started in life, we're taking 15.3% of that 18-year-old's income who's trying to build a life for himself, and we're giving it to rich old people. And it's a sick program. It needs to end. And I hope I might get 100 people, unsubscribe from this. But if I reach 10 of you and I change your mind about Social Security, it's gonna start putting us in the right direction, thinking about our kids. Stop being selfish. I want mine. I paid in. It's mine, mine, mine. Me, 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 me. Let's start thinking about that 18-year-old who's trying to get out there in life. And Social Security is a 15.3% chop out of every paycheck. It's sick. We need to stop doing it. Jump on the train of ending Social Security.